It's Tuesday, the 1st of July, and it's time to welcome my next guest on the programme this morning, author David Williams. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Richard.
Thank you so much indeed for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Delighted to be with you.
Lovely. Now, we've got you on the programme today because you've got a new book out, a collection of poems, which we'll talk about in a few moments' time. But let's kick off by finding a little bit about David Williams. Now, what's your background?
Oh, I'm a surveyor. I've been working at the same firm for 33 years, which is an outfit called Savills, and I work in the commercial development world. But with so many children, it seemed that I had to start writing poetry for them. And it's a nice aside to have and gets you out of this extraordinarily busy world of surveying.
So is it just poetry you write, or have you tried your hand at short stories or novels?
A few little short stories, but really poetry, just a bit of fun, you know. With a slightly edgy slant.
Right, so is that the kind of gift you've had from sort of going back to school days, or is it, have you kind of developed it as you've got older, or just to keep the kids amused?
I think to keep the kids amused, but they've got a bit older now, and so I understand it. And very kind of you to say that I've got some friends who quite like it. It's just a bit of something to do to make other people enjoy themselves, have a giggle.
So are you a poet, or are you an author? Because on all the bits and pieces it says author David Williams, but you're obviously writing poetry, so you must be a poet as well.
Yes, a porther may be the best way of putting it.
Porther? Oh, that's a new one on me. I haven't heard of that before. So we'll talk about your new book in a moment, but you've obviously had things published in the past. Give us a few examples.
Oh, these are pieces in the commercial development world which are really very uninspiring, about major new schemes like King's Cross, not far away from your good selves. And just really attending public inquiries and trying to get some difficult planning matters through business.
Right, so you've actually written about the new King's Cross station?
Indeed.
Was that St Pancras or King's Cross?
Indeed, and I work with the developers called Argent, who are delivering King's Cross.
Right, okay.
Which is where Google are going, for example.
I know it sort of digress a little, but what a fantastic job they've done at King's Cross station, haven't they? Really, literally turned it round.
It's great. It's somewhere we want to go to now, rather than get away from.
Absolutely. It's a pleasant place rather than the cold, drafty old place it used to be, but it's kept all its character. So good work there, sir. Good work.
Well, I was one in a million people who've been involved.
Okay, so on to your new book, which I know you're having a bit of a party and a bit of a launch tomorrow. Now, it's called Filthy Creatures, Things My Mother Never Told Me. Now, my mind is running riots here, as you can imagine, so do tell me a bit about the Filthy Creatures, David.
Well, it became sort of bit of a fad on holes when the kids were younger for them to say that they loved an aardvark or a Labrador or whatever it might be, and Daddy, can you please write something about it? And so flippantly I started writing, accumulated many, over whatever it is, 75, 80 years of 4 children.
That's one way of looking at it.
Accumulated a hideous amount of paper which my darling wife threatened to burn, which I thought it much better to try and publish them. And at least a few other people have agreed. Anyway, I've sort of done a variety of animals, and actually just about to publish another book called Ghastly Holidays. You know, those holidays which are so much fun, but can be ruined, for example, by the arrival home. But on Filthy Creatures, I've got a wild choice for you. Some are a bit naughty. But from buffalo, Labrador, pigeons, old queens, spiders, chimpanzees, tortoises, wild boar, squid.
So they're all in there, really?
Well, they're not quite the A to Z, but I aim to get there one day.
So why filthy creatures? Because you mentioned Labradors, and I mean, I've got a Labrador. I guess he's very filthy in the morning when he comes out the pond, but apart from that, he's pretty good. But where's the filthy bit come in there, and the naughty bit?
Well, perhaps if I gave you a quick recital of a Labrador, which I think we're both agreed are utterly smelly and wonderful dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that might give you a hint of my humble take on these gorgeous animals. Would you like that?
Go on, off you go.
If you want a dog for families, one which never sniffs, smells, farts, or whimpers, then go off to Hamleys, buy a stuffed one. It's much simpler. To assist, an owner has to have a degree, just to fill in the form regarding pedigree. Then one has to have them de-fleed, de-loused and injected, not forgetting being chipped, spayed and disinfected. And finally, you get your lab home. The family are close to tears. one hasn't the heart to tell them will be overrun by black hairs for years. Never be beguiled by a reticent smile or the pretense of deep depression. A furtive glance tries to give them a chance to avoid making an outright confession. Just because the table's bare, as if I could get up there and steal tonight's roast chicken. Stop accusing me. I've had my tea. And by the way, the bacon was finger-licking.
Excellent, good stuff. I can relate to all of that.
There's a moral always attached to these poems.
Indeed.
A dog is for Christmas.
Naughty. Okay, give us one more then from Filthy Creatures. Then we'll talk about the holidays.
Oh, Filthy Creatures. You can face another one. I don't know. What would you like? Is there anyone was particularly...
No, go on. You choose. Go on.
Wombat. What a remarkable creature. I think these are, they're part womble, part rabbit, and part rat, I think. When God was putting things together, it's quite clear he made us simple, although brains and sheep are quite clever, as is our daughter's gorgeous dimple. But who could credit, who could believe? How did he possibly conceive of a creature about the size of a rabbit with such nasty, ghastly habits? It has a handy set of toes with 6-inch nails to pick its nose. And ladies, this is quite verboten, an 8-inch tongue to do something else. Although it's got 2 back legs, the front ones are just tiny pegs. So if it's caught out in the open, it's barely worth a Big Mac token. A great burrower, it makes tremendous holes, playing as it does a reasonable game of petanque bowls. And give it time, it can climb a tree. Eventually. So what on earth is this creature, part womble, part rabbit, part rat? There's hardly an animal that doesn't feature within the redoubtable wombat.
Very good stuff. Very good. I'm liking this, David. I'm liking this.
Oh, that's good of you.
So we move away from Filthy Creatures. You mentioned this other book, Gardens. Okay, and how much is the book cost?
The book's worth a tenner. Okay. And £1 of every book sold goes to the Army Benevolent Fund.
Brilliant.
The Soldiers Charity.
Great cause, great cause. And where can we get this publication from?
You can get it directly from the All Publications website, or simply type in Filthy Creatures.
Lovely. And can you just give us the website details then, please?
Thank you so much, Publications.com.
Lovely, thank you much indeed. That's brilliant. And good luck tomorrow, and good luck with Filthy Creatures and ghastly holidays. And we look forward to hopefully talking to you again soon.
Lovely talking to you. Thanks so much.
David. Lovely. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. So that's David Williams there, author of Filthy Creatures, which is published by Oort Publications. Will cost you £10, and £1 of that going to charity. So do support that. Thanks to David for joining us on the programme this morning.